Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. No hiding place for Boko Haram insurgents. ECOWAS member countries resolve not to allow any launching pad for terrorists in the sub-region. Federal government commends decision by ECOWAS on insurgency, hopeful of faster resolution of the challenge. Former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, dismisses claim of joblessness over her campaign for the Chibok girls. And U.S. soldier held by the Taliban in Afghanistan regains freedom in a deal that includes the release of 5 Afghan detainees at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. We'd like to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, ChannelsTV.com, and on YouTube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, please visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Any mention of the name Sambisa Forest brings only one subject to the mind of many in Nigeria and indeed across the world: Boko Haram. It is the location in Borno State which has become the operational base of the terrorist sect, and that is where security operatives believe some of the Chibok girls may be kept. In this next report, our correspondent Sheon Kimbaloye, who visited the area, gives us an insight on the terrain now under the radar of the Nigerian military.
The shortest streets and embattled communities are the aftermath of the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria's northeast region. From 6 p.m. across the states where emergency rule is in place, roadblocks are common sight and everyone stays indoors. I'm in one of the trucks where the soldiers are preparing for their battle. It's extremely dangerous. It's in the dead of the night. But then we will learn to see how they go about their activities on a daily basis. The Civilian Joint Task Force are active in securing the communities. One place most Nigerians will want to have an idea of is Sambisa Forest, the stronghold of the Boko Haram sect.
Secular education, support, and music.
Because of the terrain, the military has added air operations to complement the ground efforts and the battle to end insurgency. An area view of Sambisa reveals a space large enough for the insurgents to hide their heads and conclude their ordeals on their hapless victims. Sambisa Forest, marked as a game reserve, has become a fearful region for just anyone to venture into. This is where most people suspect the abducted persons by the Boko Haram sect may be. Responding to an attack like the one in Chibok should take about 2 hours by road from Maiduguri, but because of the terrain, it might just take another extra hour. A big challenge for response in the case of an attack, especially in the interior communities.
It is about the expanse and the fact that while you look at other terrain, you can see 100 meters away, while in that forest you cannot see that distance. Then the expanse, like I was saying, you have nothing less than over 3,000 square kilometers. Finally, with some communities located within the place, and those communities are equally, some of them very much innocent. So it makes it difficult for anybody to bomb that area without affecting civilian population. And besides, even within the forest, you also have caves. Various things that have made the place so untenable and difficult to operate if we are to keep to our rules of engagement.
This is Chibok town, where over 200 schoolgirls were abducted over a month ago. This is a look from the sky. A closer look gives an idea of the impact of the Boko Haram attack. And on the ground, these vivid pictures here will tell of just how insanely the terrorists go about their dastardly acts.
At the time that this thing happened to us, we are in the school, so we are sleeping in the room, and we are hearing the gun.
As the search for the schoolgirls continues, there are speculations they may be within the country, and eyes will definitely be on the Sambisa forest. There is other claim that the girls may have been split up and probably moved to a place like Chad. As the nation waits eagerly for the return of the Chibok schoolgirls, Sambisa forest may be on the minds of so many people. It is now left for the Nigerian military and its foreign allies to demystify the now dreadful Sambisa forest. Sheung Okimbaloye reporting for Channels Television News.
Elsewhere, some relief has come the way of victims of the March 14, 2014 killings in the Bandam district of Kaura local government area of Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria. This follows the donation of some building materials worth several millions of naira to the people by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. About 119 persons were reportedly killed, while over 250 houses were destroyed during the attack by unknown gunmen in 3 villages of Kaura 2 months ago.
1,115 bundles of roofing zinc, 1 truckload of cement, 884 bags of roofing nails, and 100 ceiling sheets, all meant to help in the rehabilitation of the people of Bandam district. NEMA's Director of Administration, Dr. Zana Mohammed, is however appealing to the people to make proper use of the building materials and support the government efforts towards ensuring permanent peace in the state.
We urge people to use these resources available to rebuild their life and make their inhabitants better than what it was before.
The Kaduna State government is not leaving this resettlement exercise to NEMA alone. Checks totaling 84.7 million naira has gone the way of victims and churches that were burnt during the attack.
Today we are here to reassure the people of Marwa Chiefdom that this administration will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that everybody returns to his home. And we mean it, return to your home. It does not mean that when you collect this material and the checks today, you will leave your locality and move to another locality.
Villages in Kaura local government have witnessed a series of attacks since 2011, which have claimed over 600 lives and also destroyed property worth millions of naira. Since the incident occurred on March the 14th, these displaced people have been taking refuge in this primary school. They are not happy with the incessant attacks in the southern part of the state, and they want the government to put an end to it. Beyond the resettlement of these victims, natives of the affected communities say what is very important to them is for governments to find lasting solutions to the lingering crisis between the locals and Fulani herdsmen, which often lead to loss of lives and property.
Increased budgetary allocation to the Nigerian Navy and other maritime security agencies can ensure effective combat of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism in the country's waterways. The Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, stated this at an interactive session held in Calabar as part of activities marking the 58th anniversary of the Nigerian Navy.
Stakeholders are gathered here for a 2-day conference organized by the Nigerian Navy as part of activities to mark its 58th anniversary. Hopeful that remedies to the heightened activities of pirates who were bent on milking the nation dry through pipeline vandalism, oil theft and other related operations are found. The Minister of State for Defense, Musiliu Obanikoro, who is part of the gathering, says the nation's development is closely linked to a safe waterway.
In the long term, if Nigeria is to meet the target of our administration and our transformation agenda, which is to be among the top 20 economies, then the role of security, especially in the maritime domain, becomes more and more imperative.
In 2013, losses from crude oil theft were estimated at an average of 55,210 barrels per day, which translates to over 1.6 million barrels monthly.
The decision to host a conference as part of this year's Navy Week celebration is part of the overall synergy and strategy to continuously examine and reappraise our procedures and processes to ensure that we remain focused and on track as we strive to accomplish all assigned tasks. Hence, the theme of the conference, combating crude oil theft in Nigeria's maritime domain, an imperative for improved national revenue earnings.
Other participants at the conference, inclusive of the host governor Leah Limoke, advocate strengthening of existing laws against crude oil theft.
For us, we think that the reforms that are ongoing must consider the fact that the Navy, I believe, does have the capacity to prosecute those it arrests.
It was also resolved that if all of those found culpable of crude oil theft and related offenses are made to forfeit personal assets and all bank accounts traceable to them, it will deter others from taking to such crime.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Mr. Godwin Emefiele to resume as Nigeria's new CBN governor next week. That's on Business News. Do join us again.